first officer today.
Good evening everyone. Hello Papino. Thank you guys for joining. This is a rather short notice impromptu stream. Zibo just gave me 11C to test with two specific things that we need to test. We need to test Ian and we need to test a VNAV bug on the ground somewhere. So we're going to quickly hop in the aircraft and get going, but just to put you guys in the picture of what's going to happen, this STKP is not running. I forgot, I'm in the normal desktop. Let me get that on the screen. This is the desktop charts. Okay, so there you go. This is the plan. We're going to take off runway 35, go up north, turn west over the sea, turn back and land. This will be an Ian approach that we're going to do on runway 35, and we want to see how Ian behaves now. So I'm going to go through my EFB settings, make sure that Ian is enabled, and then we're going to take a lot of screenshots as we continue. So Zibo, I'm not sure if he's going to watch. He obviously knows the stream is running. He might watch. Zibo, if you're here, welcome. If not, you'll get the screenshot shortly. So that's it. That's the plan. We just do the normal test flight as always, up to 11,000 feet, and then you know, pretend we have a full flight, which is what it's going to be. So just for the record, this is 46.11c. Right, I have to make sure it's the right one. Let's get the people loaded. I've already done the rest of the loading, so I can continue. Hello, John Osborne, welcome. And Tamar, welcome. Hello, James. Yeah, it's Sunday, late afternoon where I am. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good Sunday. I didn't have a bad one. Actually, I had a good one. My dad and brother came to visit quickly, and it was a nice chat we had. I had some nice tea and cake and coffee and stuff like that, you know, so it was all good. And we had a good flight this morning, and now it's back to the work, you know. Now we need to test, make sure we've got everything set up correctly. Hey, Mako. And there's Jean Christophe. Thank you for joining me. Sure. You know what? That was fun. I just completed my comment to you, and then it wasn't 2 minutes later. Zibo said we can go test it. So here we are. Amazing how things work out. Since our last conversation, and obviously the chat on Facebook, I've had questions, and this is obviously going to help me answer those questions as well. And then we're obviously going to give Zibo that feedback. So, hello, Krister. Right, okay, so that's running. I've not exported this one. Alright, and just for the record also, guys, I am using Vulkan. This morning's test flight with Vulkan really worked well, so I'm happy to say I'm still on Vulkan. We'll see how long it lasts. One of the things we are going to do is we're going to test the save facility, just to make sure, and we're going to definitely use it, you know, make sure if something bombs out that we can quickly recover. Right, output, FMS plans, and save and replace. Right, and you'll see now what's going to happen is I'm going to choose RNP35 with the Akula transition, so we know that we're going to get the ability to use the EN if it is working now. Krister, in your version of the Zibo mod, it's still in the simulator version, if I can call it that. You know, this the flight sim version of it. The one I've got has been worked a bit. Zibo worked on it to make it more compliant with the real thing. Alright, so as always with every update it becomes more real and more real and more real. So we had a few real world pilots actually test fly this in their real aircraft over the past few days, and they've obviously fed Zibo a lot of information, photos, videos, you know, everything else that whatever he needs. I'm not sure what exactly he got, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of information has been given to him. And he's remodeled a lot of the things. I mean, if you look now, because we've taken the RNP, you see that old glide slope, glide path option, that's been taken away. You know, it's just not there. So, you know, a couple of things have changed. And you know what? I forgot to go check that my EN is actually on. I need to make sure that it's on. Yes, it's on. Okay, good stuff. That helps. Yes, yeah, Krister, the version 10 is available for the general public. I am on 11C right now, this one that we have here. Alright, let's quickly pin this thing. Alright, so, step through. Alright, simple circuit, 11,000 feet. It's going to give us a top of climb, top of descent, little cruise phase, and everything should work normal, as in any other flight. Alright, we can check the meter quickly, get our QNH. 1017. 1017. Our course heading and such is 352. We'll double check that. Should be fine. Oh, we can't do that yet. We'll go 352. That's what the chart says. Let's just make sure that everything is set up correctly. It's such a short flight, we might as well configure everything on the ground before we do anything. 352. Alright. Come on. Alright, so that's off. We don't need that. Alright. Okay, so just for clarification, when you do in, everything runs off the FMCs. There's nothing coming from the ground that's going to assist the landing. It's going to simulate Cat 1 ILS for us. Everything runs, I beg your pardon, off the FMC, not over here at all. So anything you set up here, number one, that you need to remember is don't have an ILS active. If there's an ILS active, it can interfere. As in the real world, you don't do that. All right, what you should have is a VOR. I think that's the safest one that you can use. Any VOR. This happens to be the Porto VOR. So if we actually enable it, you can actually see it is there. Let me take that one. You see there's the line is turning, so it definitely is the Porto VOR according to our charts and what we can see there. Then okay, so you must not have ILS in there. Put a VOR in there, but very importantly you need to understand this. It's a visual aid. It has no bearing on the approach. It will not change it. It will not do anything with it. Even if you do a VOR approach, it's a visual aid. The system, the moment you use Ian, is going to read off the FMCs. This is totally irrelevant. Just don't have an ILS in there. Okay, so I've said that enough times. Let's move on. Sorry if I repeat stuff, but some of the stuff is really important, so I hope you understand. Okay, so next. Alright, you can use company route. I also use company route and it saves here. Let me show you. That's explain 11. Output FMS plans. There is where it saves. Alright. The native Zibo format is not FMS, it's XM something. We can check that now, it's not important. I save everything as FMS, and the reason I do that is I create my exported file in Navigraph, and if I do it this way I actually get under most circumstances, not always, the SID and star to be exported as well. So I just stick to the normal FMS because then it's compatible with little navmap and all the other utilities like Active Sky. You know, if you save it in the default XMS or whatever default value, or not default, a native value that the Zibo is capable of saving it in, your other utilities like Active Sky and the other navigational stuff will not read it. So you can just stick to FMS and it goes into output FMS plans.
Trim up.
Captain Hanson on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until all carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Stove is driving up.
Flight attendants prepare for departure. Cross-check and all call. Thank you.
Alright, you've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Before start procedure.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed.
Before start
Ready to connect.
procedure. Before start procedure completed. Trim up.
Still connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback. You may start the engine.
Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine.
Back, buddy.
25 and 2.
Okay. Let me just see if your mic is open. Yeah, it looks like it.
I won't push to talk, bud.
Thank you so much.
Mac.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, cool. Hello, Mac.
Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine. How are you doing, Mac?
Starting number 1 engine.
Fine, just woke from a nap when I saw you were here.
Okay.
So, I'm just quietly following.
Awesome. Okay, we're testing 11C just to put you in the picture. Ian and VNAV on the ground.
Yeah, I read the notices.
Okay.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
25
Connecting
and
zone.
2.
Stand by.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull onto the runway, line up and wait basically, and then I'm gonna test VNAV first because that's the appropriate place to test it. Let's see what it does.
Starter cutout. Engine start procedure completed.
Now it's disconnected.
Ah, Mako, I like that intro. Did you see that, Mac? Go check that text.
And have a safe flight.
I know, I've just seen.
Ah, awesome.
Afternoon, Mako.
Even more fun music.
Wahaha. Alright, there's the pin. Let's quickly see. We need to go and get the gens on the bus. Alright, let's go. Yes.
Flaps 5 set.
Guys, give me 30 seconds. My lovely daughter just asked me a question. I just need to answer it for her. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's go.
Everybody now.
Sorry, Uncle John?
Is Shanae a happy bunny now?
Very much so.
Taxi lights
She
on.
ordered herself via me now with her money, pocket money. She came to me and she said, listen, I want to order a wireless charger for my mobile phone. So I helped her and the thing arrived yesterday and I absolutely forgot about it. So she's just inquiring to know because they actually sent an SMS saying it will be delivered tomorrow. So they're 2 days early. And, you know, she just wanted to know if it's still going to be on time. And I said, hey, hang on, wait, it's actually here. So I went to give it to her quickly.
What do you like?
Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure.
Right, I'm just doing all the normal thingamadings here.
Before takeoff procedure completed.
Right, so I'm gonna go line up and then we'll test VNAV first.
Approaching 3-5. On runway 3-5.
We're gonna check if it works now, then we'll elaborate. Okay. So, what Zibo says, I'm actually gonna put the parking brake on. So what Zibo says is with auto throttle on, if we do this, it shouldn't spool up the engines. I've been in a situation a few times where we press the VNAV button and all of a sudden this aircraft roars away and then you've got to disarm auto throttle. So what I'm going to do is let's switch off everything. Let's just cycle everything and we're going to go back to the FDs and we're going to go to auto throttle and we're going to hit VNAV. Alright, so it says armed. Alright, so the bug was that if you did this, it would actually spool up the engines and it would go. It's like putting on, switching on N1 and, you know, it just wanted to go. So at this point in time, it looks this test is successful, Zibo. It's perfect.
Right, I think in the org forum, Nico,
Yeah.
it was a case of selecting VNAV, LNAV, and COM1.
Okay, so let's
With the auto throttle on.
put Command A. There you go. You see it immediately puts the speed.
It was when you cancelled the COM
Stabilized. We have park brake on.
with ATR.
Sir.
Okay, well, this aircraft wants to go now, you see. Right, so in this instance, my understanding is as long as Command A is on and you put VNAV on, it is supposed to go because, I mean, you are complying with all the requirements for the freaking autopilot.
Oh no, because VNAV is only supposed to be armed, not active.
Oh, yes,
because
I get it, above 400 feet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, but Command A anyway shouldn't really be a factor right now because that should also only come on above 400 unless I'm understanding it incorrectly. Okay, I'll speak to
This
Zibo
This
about
is
it.
why it was a post in the org forum
Yeah,
that
yeah.
brought this up. I don't know which is right or wrong. I was relying on people like Sasso to answer.
Yeah. Let's ask Zibo.
Do you want me to find the post?
Yes,
to
please.
remind her?
Yeah, John, it's a shock to the system when this thing all of a sudden starts roaring, and then you got to think fast, you know. Okay, now this is interesting.
Do you remember that it was a topic of discussion a good few months ago? And it was explained at the time that it should spool up if you're below 400 feet as a safety feature for some reason.
Yeah, there was a discussion like that. The thing is, because I do not know the exact circumstances of the bug that Zibo says he tried to fix, I can't really now comment. I'm waiting for him to come back to me now. Yeah, you can't select command A or B on the ground, man. That doesn't work. I agree with you. Yeah. I like to arm the stuff, you know, but I mean, you don't touch that side until you up in the air, and that's a dangerous side, that one to go. But this is perfectly fine. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna start this flight because it's a half an hour flight anyway, and then let's get going. When Zibo comes back, we can. Oh, you know what we can do? Hold on. Stop the bus right here. We can save a flight quickly, so we can come back right here, and then if we have to test it again, we can test it. So let's go.
Stabilized.
There you go, Toga.
Takeoff thrust set. knots.
Live weather.
Throttle hold.
Sorry, sir?
Is that live weather?
Yes.
Oh.
V1. Rotate.
I did not force a refresh of Skymatix Pro. We can do that when we're in the air, just to make sure that there shouldn't be clouds, but the rest is all... It's railway that's running active sky.
Runway turn off, lights off.
There the clouds appear.
Flaps 1 set. Flaps up set. Approaching transition. Transition altitude.
Hello, Matt. Yes, all well. Nice to see you. Yeah, Linda's doing a job. Can't pay her for no reason. She's got to come do her bit.
1000 to level off.
Okay, once we go straight on level, I'll quickly do another flight save. We'll do one just before top-off descent and then one, what is it, just before Akulu, because that's a crucial point. We'll do it in between Akulu and ABLEG. We'll do another one. So that's usually a steep descent, and with any RNAV approach you've got to keep your hand on that speed brake, because if it runs away, it runs away. You need to keep it going proper. Right, so as this is a short flight, I'm not going to worry too much about too many weird principles that we would normally worry about. I'm just going to quickly set it up for the descent. The basics. Right, and we make sure there's no ILS that can possibly interfere. Courses are correct. Alright, just as a matter of interest, we do have EGNOS available. That code over there, we can actually put that into the GLS. That code is 92, I'm reading it off the chart quickly, 92423. Alright, we're going to keep that in standby. We're not going to use it unless we have to. 9243, correct. Right, we're going to come down to Zibo's laughing at me. Mac, he says, command off, of course.
Okay. I'm still trying to find the post that...
Jean-Christophe Michel donated $25.
Oh, thank you, Jean-Christophe. Much appreciated. Right, the beauty of Ian simulating ILS also is, even though we're doing LNAV, VNAV, we can set the intercept altitude for the ILS. We do not have to go down to minimums. The aircraft, if you press the approach button, will actually bust the altitude, go down, absolutely like a Cat 1 ILS. Alright, let's make sure we've got 351. Okay. So what Zibo says, it's imperative that we use this course. It has to be the one on the FMC, not the one on the chart. So that's an interesting development. That's it. And then when you get close, you'll see when we get close, the actual information will appear here in this corner. And then you just hit the approach button and it will immediately simulate Cat 1 ILS. Hello Carl, by the way, welcome. Nice to see you, sir. Good to have you here. Exactly, because then it will become EGNOS LPV. Christer, we don't want to make that GLS code active. That turns it into a different type of an approach. Carl, I'm not sure about that last question. Alright, Zibo says it that MCP course needs to be within 6 degrees of the final approach course, otherwise it won't work. Just explaining to him. Sorry, Ziba, I'm not sure if you're actually watching. Alright, so there's top of descent. So what we want to do just before top of descent, quickly go save another flight. So we can come back here. Alright, Zibo says that because it's got a 6 degree plus or minus deviation, we can set this according to the charts. It does not have to be the exact one. There is a tolerance of plus minus 6 degrees. So that helps. Thanks for that call.
I've sent you the link, Nika.
Thanks, Mac. When we get back on the ground, I'll quickly look at it and then we can replay it. According to what my broken memory tells me, the test was successful because it only started acting up the moment we pressed Command A. Alright, up until then it didn't. So I said to Zibo, I'm gonna definitely retest that and make sure that we don't, you know, have a false sense of success. So we'll definitely test that again. This is a nice steep.
I'd misread it. There was no command com in part of it. I'm wrong there.
Christer, don't say you don't need it anymore, because you might mistake it on a different approach. We're talking Ian. This is particularly and specifically the Ian tolerance we're talking about, so just remember that. Alright, so I'm going to save the next one, then just after this we'll have a number 3 save. Let's actually pull this thing closer. We've got 1 and 2, now we'll get 3. Not sure, Christer.
1000 to level off.
Right, braking again. See what I said earlier, on this approach you gotta keep your hand on that speed brake, otherwise it runs away from you. In actual fact, I know from experience we might as well start pulling the flaps, because this is a bit of a big dipper.
Flaps 1 set.
Understand, Cole. In theory I agree with you, but remember now the question comes in with how did Zibo model it? You understand? So I don't want to give the guys the wrong information, so I'm just cautious, if you understand.
Save, Nico.
We'll do now. Okay, so there's save 3.
Flaps 5 set.
Yeah, exactly, Cole, exactly. But I'm keeping that. See, there it's got that extra little dip it needs to quickly fill in. And there's one there as well. We need to be at 3000 there. 3000, above 3000 there, but 3000 there. Needs to dip a bit there too. I love it, Cole. I love it. Don't stop, my friend. Don't stop. It's good to have you here to assist. Right, so speed brake can now be armed, and I forgot about that little baby.
Approaching transition.
Alright, so once we've turned on finals, I'm going to save number 4 as well. So then if we need to come back to this point, it's closer than any of the other, obviously. Save line number 4. Alright, that's good. Right, so Zibo, I hope you're there and I hope you see that. I do not see the top left corner active, so maybe there is a trick to the new way, the proper way of doing it, because like I said, the previous way was like the sim shortcut way of doing it. So let's see. So some bug, yes, yes.
Transition level. 1000 to level off.
1000 to go.
No diamonds either. Alright, so what we should have seen, yes you can, John, Christoph, what we should have seen is it should have identified it there, and it should have brought up the diamonds for the ILS. So currently we're just in LNAV VNAV mode. What we could do is we can switch to the LPV mode now, then you'll see it. You see there we've gone to LPV now, and we can literally write it down with a code in the GLS.
on the correct course heading?
Sorry, Uncle John?
Are we on the correct course heading?
Yes.
Changed it.
Yeah, no, we're fine, we're fine. It says 351, but it seems that the tolerance is there too. It didn't strike it out.
Just checking.
No worries. So anyway, now you guys get a little bonus. Now you see how the EGNOS works as well. There's the GLS code. You get the code from there or from the FMC, like I said earlier, you know. So that turns it into LPV for us, and we can actually just write it down also. Perfect ILS type approach.
1000 to level off.
Now we can change our barrow to 480.
So that's as we did this morning in that.
Similar, yes.
Yeah, because we used the GNS test.
Okay, hold a second, guys.
Feet stabilized, Mr. Burchell.
Taxi lights on.
Flaps.
Flaps 15 set.
Alright, sorry guys. She's obviously now excited. My daughter is excited about this
Flaps
charger,
30
so
set.
I asked her to give me half an hour.
Approaching 3-5.
Jean-Christophe, if you hang around now, we're going to quickly do the VNAV test again, just to confirm what you know, Zibo says here, that it is now working, and then we'll do a replay. Then you'll see, if you click on load flight 1, 2, 3 and 4, how it quickly restores everything. It's a brilliant system.
Approaching minimums.
And you've got 8 places to save, so that's nice.
Minimums. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed brake up. Reverse unlocked. Auto brake in use. knots. Yet. Great landing. You are professional.
Okay, so we're gonna put the sparking brake on. Oh, we didn't have to do any of this. Alright, so then what we're gonna do is we're going to go. Oh, it's not programmed, that's why. Alright, so let's do this. We're gonna load flight 1. There you go, it's loaded. And we're back to where we started. Alright, so now we have everything on. Let me get my notes here again for altitude. Okay, set auto throttle on and press VNAV. So let's cycle everything. Make sure they are dead, deader than dead. There you go. And then we press VNAV. Alright, so there you go. It goes to ARM. Let me take a nice screenshot for Zibo. Yeah, I've clicked it a few times. Nothing's happening there. Alright, okay, so let us show the guys here. If we click on load flight 4, it's going to put us back to the place where we saved it. There you go.
Turn off, lights off.
Just want to
Flaps
set
5
the
set.
volume down a bit. My wife's going to
1000 to
come
level off.
shout at me just now.
Stabilized.
Right, so there we go. VOR active again. Let's do a normal LNAV VNAV, so we're going to go down to 500. Alright, but Ian is definitely not working. Right.
1000 to level off. Flaps 15 set.
I suppose the question is it the fact that it's not working or just not displaying?
It's not working because if I press the approach, nothing happens. You see, it's supposed to immediately go over. There's no diamonds, there's no indication, it's just ordinary LNAV now. Christer, it should come on, I think at 18 nautical miles already. I've just said to Zibo, yeah, I'm at 12 already, it's still not showing. It's definitely supposed to be further, like 18 or 20 nautical miles, that it should come on. I've flown this approach in Ian hundreds of times during our testing. I've done this thing almost to the point of knowing it off by heart now, flying it blindfolded. I agree, Cole. Good morning, Steel. Welcome. Now, what's nice is if Zibo makes another quick fix there, we can use the load flight situation and just come back to where we are. Yeah, just test it easy.
Flaps 30 set.
Yeah, Christer, remember this is a totally different ball game. I mean, this mod has gone through a major evolution behind the scenes that you guys haven't received yet. Major one for Ian.
To level off.
Feet stabilized, Mr. Burchell.
Taxi lights on.
I love it, Christian. I love it.
5.
Course unlocked. 80 knots. Throttle hold.
I forgot to set the auto brakes there. It's not good, but anyway. It's a replay. Right.
3,000 feet remaining.
Alright, well, that's the test, gentlemen.
What are you watching?
2,000 remaining.
Yes, please, hit some likes, please. I would
60
appreciate
knots.
it.
Yet.
1,000
Great
remaining.
landing. You are professional.
Hey, Owen.
Approaching 17.
You're welcome.
Flaps upset.
On runway
That is only for
17.
LPV.
Flaps,
That is when you
flaps.
simulate EGNOS and WAS and GLS. When you do Ian, you do not put the code. Ian runs by default off the FMCs, and if it is working, you'll see it will pop up there, and you know it's available, and all you do is you click the approach button. I want to show you guys something else as well. I upgraded this document the other day a little bit, because we will probably update it majorly when this update is done, because we're touching the tip of the iceberg. But I'm going to show you what we have up to this point, and you guys can find it. It's in my private hangar. If you look below the stream, you click on show more. One of the lines there tells you this is my private hangar, and if you click it, it takes you to my OneDrive, and it's going to give you this. If you go to explain
On
11
runway
and then Zibo,
17. On runway
I'm going to show you this
17.
quickly. For this, call this a cheat sheet. Okay, so for the approaches, this is what you need to know. So we can do ILS. You need to press the approach button. Glide slope on MCP altitude will be the FAF altitude. You can read through it. There's GLS, LNAV, VNAV. Then we have the VOR DME with Ian, RNAV with Ian, EGNOS and WAS. With EGNOS and WAS, you need to put the code. And there's a little description at the bottom. So you guys can go and download this. Then when Zibo is done, and I can't show you this, this one because it's private for the development, but this thing is gonna look like it had babies when we're done with this thing. Then it will show you a much wider spectrum of what the Zibo mod is capable of, and it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. You know, so anyway, again, to recap, the link is in the notes below the video. Click on show more, go to my private hangar, you'll find it in explain 11 Zibo mod in the approach configuration tips. That's the temporary one, and we'll obviously change it when we're ready. Right, so let's see what happened here. Steel, thank you so very much, my friend, for this tip. Appreciate it as well. No, you shouldn't have to recycle the FDs. But again, just to safeguard myself from talking nonsense, let's wait until Zibo finishes all the changes. Then we're going to look at all the go-around procedures again. We're going to look at all the different approaches. And like I said, this little table that you see there is like the tip of the iceberg. If you see what I see here, it's a tip of the iceberg. You'll understand when the big one gets released. You know, how in detail and in depth it works behind the scenes and everything. When you're correct, I've also started calling it that because I see that's what people understand. It's a virtual ILS that we're doing with Ian. The difference just comes in now. I mean, let's just bring this thing back on here. You're gonna have to remember when to press the approach button and when not. You know, so at this point in time in this table, this is probably the most important bit. You know, when to press the button and where to have your MCP altitude. You know, that's very important, because otherwise you're gonna press the button by mistake when you shouldn't and things like that. So all right, gents, if you want to wait, Zibo says he'll upload the fix for us in 10 minutes. This is going to be 11D, the non-public one. Then I'm going to test it. So if you want to, we can just sit and chat here a little bit for 10 minutes if you want to. I'm willing to do that, and you're most welcome. If you need to go to the loo or make some coffee, now's your chance. I'm not going to stop the stream. I'm just going to let it run. So I'm going to close explain, obviously. I can't load it when it's running. And then we're going to, you know,
Coffee and snacks time.
wait for it. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Owen. Yeah, there's some nice to haves on my drive. And don't worry about dates. If I need to update something, I will update it. But if there's something that's 2 years old and it works, and it doesn't need an update, it's still going to be there. Like for instance, the ISA deviation calculator, or for instance the slope calculator. You know, I mean, that was a big thing in the beginning. Now it's not so much, but stuff. There's a lot of stuff there. Oh, Matt, the team has grown a little bit, from Zibo and Twixter and myself and Jan, you know, and Sasso now that's come and joined. Um, I don't want to mention the names that are not public, but anyway, um, I'm going to tell you about Yeri and Stefan. Let me just mention their two names, you know. The team's growing and it's an awesome team. I am really privileged and honored to help out where I can. Okay, Owen. Yeah, him too. Him too. Sorry, he slipped my mind for a second. Him too. It's an awesome team, guys. The guys involved here are top of their game. You know, it's you ask something and you get it. It's not the and oh and maybe not and what have you, all kinds of excuses, and things happen at one heck of a pace. The last week we did 3 evenings up to 2 a.m. our time, and I did 1 to 1 a.m. You know, it's just so much to do. It's awesome. So, anyway, let me throw a little stone in the bush. I know a lot of you have spoken about it, a lot of you have asked for it. I have had the discussion with Zibo. I have given him my design parameters, and he hasn't 100% agreed to do it, but he said he can do it. So, I'm hoping that we're going to get an autosave for the Zibo mod as well. All right, just to give you guys a bit of a taste of what we're hoping for from our side. For those of you that do follow my channel, you will note that I think it was Friday evening we had a power interruption, and thank goodness we did a save. I lost about 35 minutes in my flight, or 38 minutes it was in the flight, but I was able to recover. VAO accepted the flight with my explanation of why there was a breakage in the flight and all. And you know, we just got talking, and we've put the design parameters forward. So who knows? Maybe soon we'll get something like that, eh? There we go. There is. I'm just quickly going to stop this display capture because I need to download this file quickly. All right, here we go. Yeah, Carl, I agree. I agree. And as easy as that, we've got 11D. All right, for those of you that are not familiar with how the save flight and the resume flight, load flight situation works, the prerequisite is the engines need to be running. All right, so we're going to start with engines running. We're going to go to Porto, it's irrelevant where we go to. And then I'm going to go just a little bit further back to save situation 3. So we've got a bit of time to react.
Point yourself the man.
On runway 17, flaps.
Hello, Cap. My name is Linda. I am your first
Yeah.
officer today.
All right, my frame rates is terrible. I'm gonna just try reload the aircraft, see if that helps. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to restart. Explain. My frame rate's gone down to 18. That's not flyable.
On
There we
runway
go.
17,
Problem solved. All right, we're back
flaps,
to 3.
flaps.
Right, so guys, I have seen some talk about this on the forum, guys complaining about frame rate drops and all. Do yourself a favor. I can't remove this thing at the top of the screen, okay? But if you are in your explain, click on the developer menu at the top. Find this one. You see there, reload the aircraft. You can skip art reload, right? Hit that button. Check if your frames improve. Mine just died at 18 and it's gone back up just by reloading the mod. So in case you are experiencing a drop for some reason, just reload the thing. See if it helps, let me know. Because for me it definitely works. Right, so let us go and grab flight number 3.
TARA mode set. Flaps 5 set. Approaching transition. Transition level. 1000 to level off. Stabilized. Approaching transition. 1000 to level off.
1,000 to go.
There's no ILS tuned. And there's no Ian.
Approaching transition. Transition altitude. Transition level.
It should be because it simulates it. You can see glide path 3 degrees, it's there. Yeah, that should come up at least between 20 and 18 nautical miles. There's an easy way to check it, Krista. Let's do this. Load flight 3 again.
Flaps
and then
5
let's quickly
set.
flick on the
Approaching
GLS.
transition.
You see there,
1000
we
to
are
level
at
off.
20.3 nautical miles. Look there, it's 17 to the runway and it's there. And, okay. Okay. Zibo says he needs to analyze it. It's obviously a little bit more intricate and in detail than we think. For those of you that have not heard the analogy yet, there's more code in this FMC than the first version of Linux had as a complete operating system. You're talking hundreds of thousands of lines of
You
code.
getting
Approaching transition.
what are you getting across the top of PFD?
No, that's the GLS. Yeah, that's your GLS that I put on now. The EGNOS.
Ah, right. Was it actually showing... hang on, let me go back to it. Is it actually showing FAC and GP across the top?
No, there is not. It doesn't even come up. Yeah. Matt, I'm telling you, it's insane. Me and Zibo were talking one day. I'll have to go back far back in memory. I actually just ask him, how many lines of code in the FMC now, Zibo? Let's ask him. See how many lines there are now. I can't even. I'm not even gonna lie and tell you it was 500,000 or 800,000 lines of code. Don't listen to that. But it was an insane amount. If he answers me now, I'll tell you.
1.2 million, I'm guessing.
The original Linux, yes, that Linus Torvald made, the first one. He's okay. Yeah, well, here we go. There's more than 100,000 lines of code just in this little piece of software. Just here, more than 100,000. I'll show you. There, from the horse's mouth. There, more than 100,000 lines of code. It's crazy how many lines of code is in here. And when we had the discussion, somebody brought up the Linux, and he said, "Wow, that's more than Linux had in the first release." I was like, "Oh, okay." So anyway, gents, I think that's it then. Not much more we can do except just have fun, you know, go crazy and ape with the Zibo. But yeah, that's it. I mean, now Zibo is going to have to analyze a piece of this to try and find out what happened to that one.
Well, thanks anyway, Nico.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is how it works, Uncle John. You win some the next day, you know, but you never lose.
No, because either later today, tomorrow, or the day after, guess what? It'll be done.
Yeah. Matt, yeah. I also use Linux, and I tell you.
Positive rate.
Let's just go have some fun. Let's just do something silly for a change. I'm gonna do a barrel roll if I can. Just do something silly. Just because we can.
Flaps upset. Approaching transition.
Because we're definitely going to lose a little bit of air there. I was at one of our air shows here local in South Africa, and one of our captains for the airline I used to work for did some amazing aerobatics with a 737-800, and I tell you what, I never knew you could do it with this thing. He didn't do loops, don't think it's that weird, but and he didn't do a barrel roll, but the kind of maneuvers he did there that day was like, oh. You think about a passenger thing, and there he goes and he pulls and turns and go crazy. Christer, I need some altitude first, otherwise we're gonna have a problem. And then we're gonna need some speed. I hope this is enough. I'm not talking about the current one, Bjorn. I'm talking about the first one. There's 100,000 lines of code just in this FMC. And whoever told us that story was specifically talking about the first version of Linux. He wasn't talking about CentOS and Ubuntu and all the stuff we have today. Probably.
Approaching transition.
Come on.
Transition level.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
Taxi lights on.
No, we're just doing something silly.
Runway turn off.
I think in the real world we would have
Taxi
broken the
lights off.
freaking
1000 to
wings
level
off. Because look at the speed and everything that we're doing here. I think we must have broken something somewhere.
No, you won't.
Yeah, we broke something. There's no more control. We broke something. I think we broke the elevator or something. Woo! Ouch! Anyway, so we leave with a bang, guys. Anyway, gentlemen, that's it for now.
The FAA are on site.
Yeah, Portuguese Civil Aviation Authority this time. Yeah. Poor car, poor aircraft, poor me. Boing. There you go. So anyway, something broke, which is normal. I don't recommend doing this at home. Guys, I'm not sure when Zibo is going to be done with it. It will even be tonight, but I hope you have a good rest of your weekend and just go have fun, you know, relax a little bit. Fly a Zibo. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Uncle John.
Stabilized.
On runway 17.
We'll talk to you guys soon.
Flaps.
Thank you, Nico. See you.
Okay.